about booking, but one of the things that is super important is coaching those classes. If it is important to book it, it is important to coach it. A class worth booking is worth coaching. Do not book a class and then don't take the time to coach it and then wonder what happened. I've been there multiple times, still do it, and I kick myself every single time because it's dumb. It's dumb, okay? So we don't want dumb consultants, we want smart ones, okay? And coaching is, all right, it's true. It's true. Okay, so coaching is your insurance. She sells insurance. Coaching is your insurance in your business. It is insurance for your booking. It is so important to do. And how many of you have ever really well coached a class and you were like, dang, that was an awesome class?
Yes.
And then you're like, I need to do that more often.
Every time.
And then you don't.
You don't. Because I'm dumb.
We need to relearn things over and over again sometimes. And so I have been there, and I will admit it, that sometimes life gets away from you and you just forget, or why are the reasons why you don't coach? Just raise of hands, be honest.
Primarily, I think it's because that is a new habit and you have to continue to do it, and the other one's an old habit, so it's easier to kind of revert back to what you know.
So the thing that you know that you don't do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that's why for new consultants, it's so important. Just start coaching your classes well, starting off the bat, so that it is a habit for the future, because it will pay you in dividends if it just becomes like clockwork and it's just regular. I promise it will make the world of difference. Okay, what's another reason why maybe you don't?
So for me personally, a lot of times when I've done like good coaching and had a really good party, I'm feeling really good about the way things are going. I'm like, oh man, things are going really good. I probably don't need to put. Like you just kind of get in that mindset. Yeah, like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm doing really good. Things are going really well. So I don't maybe necessarily need to give that much effort this week because I had such a good week last week. Like you kind of give yourself a break. And so that's what I've done sometimes.
And I think one of the things that I learned for that is knowing that you're not saying the same things over and over again. Like remembering different pieces that you're kind of reminding them some of the same stuff, but it's like, oh, and the reason why I wanted to remind you, or I wanted to ask you, or I wanted to whatever, right? And so you have a reason to call them, and then you're like, and how's that guest list coming? Or does that make sense? Like you're reminding them of these important things, but if you're worried about bugging them about the same thing that you're like, especially the guest list, that's one of the things that I think we've had a hard time maybe getting. Okay. Anyway, the idea that you're saying the same thing or you're bugging them, that is something that you really need to let go of and find how you can do it without you feeling like you're bugging them. Does that make sense? One of the other thoughts is, even if you haven't done another party for a different, like, direct sales or whatever, when the dentist calls or texts you, are you like, oh my gosh, will they stop it already?
Only if they want money.
Have you heard of the hostess program where it's 80-40? Have you guys heard me talk about that?
Remind us. I know I have, but just remind us.
Remind us.
Okay, so I had heard this, and some people have thought, oh, but that would be too much. Like that would be bothersome. But it started to be a bigger thing. So basically, you give them night of. So this isn't a hostess program you give like when you're on the phone with someone. This is at the party hostess program. Okay. So 80-40, you say. And would you like to take advantage of our hostess special tonight? And most people are like, ooh, what's that? Right? You say, okay, well, when you get together with any of your girlfriends, at least 3, 4, whatever you want to give the minimum, and they're at least 18 or 21, then you can get $40 off your $80 purchase tonight.
Oh, okay.
So they get it immediately off their purchase.
And then
you fill out another receipt, for the day of their party. And if it doesn't hold on the original day and time, then you will charge their card that $40.
What?
That is so brilliant.
Hey, that's cool.
So that is the
Mind blown.
yeah, I swear I've talked about this
You
before.
have.
You might
Okay.
have, but I wasn't there.
Okay.
And
All right,
you-
that's okay.
you have to
And you need
set,
to
like, an
remind
amount,
yourself. Yes.
Right? That
Well, you say it's
because
$40.
if somebody's only spending $50 that night, it
No.
might not be.
So you're not losing any product, right?
Right.
80/40 is better than even 75 for 35.
right.
It's half.
Yeah.
So you're not losing any money. So even if someone wanted to take the deal and you were worried about, well, what if she gives me all 18-year-olds? Or what if, you know, you can still give it an age limit if you want. They have to be 21 or older. But honestly, you're not losing any money on 80/40 because it's 50%. They're paying for their product. And sometimes they might have only bought like a lip gloss or a lip gloss and a mascara. But oh, now it's 80/40. I might get a skincare set.
Right. 'Cause
Right?
say we're gonna spend $35 anyway. Well,
Right.
they'll spend 40, but
Are
get $80.
you offering
worth of
it
stuff.
at the individual consultation?
Yes, at the individual consultation. So you say, okay, great. Would you like to take advantage of our hostess special tonight? Or and so then you fill out the receipt, right? And it's $40. Say so. All you have to do is when we choose the day and time, you hold it on the original day and time that we scheduled tonight. You have at least 4 people there that are over 18 and don't already have a Mary Kay consultant, and that's it. We get to pamper you, we get to have fun, and you can get $40 off your purchase tonight. So then you fill that receipt out and just say, okay, so I'm going to fill out 2 receipts. So you get the discount tonight, but if you don't hold it on the original date, which that's not going to happen, right? Because you're
Yeah.
totally trustworthy and honest.
Your
and,
word.
yeah, you're a woman of your word,
That
right?
deal.
So it's $40, and I'm going to grab your credit card, or you can give me a post-dated check, and I'll either run your card that day if for whatever reason you can't hold it on the original day or you need to cancel, okay?
So,
But guess what? Then when you call, that is insurance. That's the $25 canceling fee that people are like, oh, well, I'll work around that because I don't want to pay the $25, right? They will figure out how to get 4 people there. It's amazing what people can do in a short period of time when they don't want you to run their card for $40. Because they already have the product. It's not like you're stealing from them or doing something unlawful, right? You gave them the product saying that this is how it works, right?
Right.
And so you would call, and if you are ghosted by your hostess, like you haven't heard from them, then basically you call them up and you say, hey, Susie, I know life gets super busy, but I have some people that are interested in the day that we booked our party, and I haven't heard from you. And so will you give me a call or text me? If I don't hear back from you in the next 24 hours by tomorrow morning, then I'm going to go ahead and run that $40 on your card and give that spot to someone else.
Ooh.
Guess how quickly they're going to call you?
Super fast. How's that?
Super fast.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Do you ever do, like, say they were already ordering, like, the time-wise repair set. You just do 40 off. Or
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
do half.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's not half. It's just
40 off.
$40 off and $80 or more
Okay.
purchase.
Okay.
So if they've already purchased a $200, $300, whatever, you just say, okay, basically you've already gone
Right.
above $80. You get $40 off your purchase tonight. And if for whatever reason we can't hold it on the original day and time, then I'm going to fill out this receipt for that day. And you just say skincare class, April, whatever. And you would then need to keep track of that, right? In your like tickler system, have a reminder on your phone, whatever it is. But that's how you would work it, and that's how you do the insurance policy. And because it wasn't a habit of mine to use that, I started using the deal or no deal so that I wasn't using that for a little while. And I couldn't figure out how because I really liked how many people were booking with a deal or no deal, like right up front, because they are excited and they're excited to like look at it. So here's the deal. I still am going to do both. I still say deal or no deal, this is what it is, right? And then when I do the individual close, then I will tell them. So would you like to take advantage of the hostess special tonight? I will explain the hostess special, and I'll say, so you can get that off tonight, and you get 4 people there that are over 21. Now, if you want to take advantage and get that item for free that you got for Deal or No Deal and the hostess special, all you have to do is
Hold it.
no. You give them more requirements. You say you need to have at least 6 people that are, and at least 4 of them are over 21. Or you say if all of those 4 people are over 25, then you can get that other item for free at your party as well. Because you're not losing any product with the 80 or 40, right? So what harm is that? You can still give them both if you want. And if you want to keep the rule the same and it's still 4 people and they still get both, you can do that. I want to bump it up and I have at least an extra age limit that they're going to reach, 21 or 25 and older, to be able to get that item for free at their party. You can also do when you have 2 or more bookings at your party and have over 250 in sales, then you get that Deal or No Deal.
Okay.
So you can basically utilize that Deal or No Deal and work it the way that you want to, but it's just that extra incentive. This 80 or 40 is kind of that insurance policy that it holds, and so I would still do it. I'd still do both. Okay? You can't use it. Do you understand that you can't obviously use the 80 for 40 when you're trying to call like a referral on the phone to book them, right? Yeah. So you would still do a regular other hostess program for that, but the 80 for 40 is one where they are wanting the product and you explain in the individual close. You can say, and I have a hostess special tonight. You can ask me about that when we get together individually, but you're not going to explain it in the group close, okay? It's an individual close thing, okay? Okay, so that is hostess special kind of insurance policy for that. And it really has been working for the people that are utilizing it. And when I have used it, it worked really, really well. And that's why I was like, I like the Deal or No Deal, but then I was having more cancel or reschedule. And I was like, wait, okay. And I had to figure out in my brain how I was going to make it work. So anyway, I do have a sheet that for me, what I was going to do it on, and I can share that if you want, what I'm doing for what they have to do, and it's in writing, that if you were to give them a hostess packet, then you could print that off and give it to them. It has the hostess special, what it is, and it says, hold it on the original date, that sort of thing, and then what I'm going to do for the Deal or No Deal, what you need to do in addition to be able to get that item for free. Okay? Okay, so the skincare class checklist. Have you guys seen this before?
No.
Yes.
No, really? Okay.
Similar one.
Similar, okay. So I did tweak a few of this. It might look a little bit different. There was one, and I kind of tweaked it, which is why there's more people for guest list. There was usually only like 6 slots or whatever. But if you're confirming, how many people have you told that they need to like invite and confirm double what they want to show, right? But then we only had 6 lines for it. So anyway, I added that, and I added a few things over here. So class date. So when I was doing DIQ, I used this, and I used my IPA working sheet. And one of the things that I realized I haven't been doing, and I need to get back to doing. And this was one of them. Because it reminds you, oh wait, have I done that? Oh, I need to do that, right? I have a more up-to-date one that also has like send a pick and bite to your hostess, and so I can send that one. It's probably on my computer. So anyway, you go through and you figure out. So you have a list of these. Anytime you book someone, you're going to pull out one of these. You're going to put their name on. You're going to put the class date on. You're going to tell them, it reminds you to ask for a deadline or to tell them a deadline to get their guest list, right? If you're going to do anything specific on get me the guest list within 48 hours to get, if you're doing those 5 things to earn $100 or $200 free, you're going to want to tell them it has to be within 48 hours. So let me call you. And do you know how you make sure that it's within 48 hours? You give them the deadline before the 48 hours.
Ding, 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 ding.
You give it to them at the 36-hour mark or even the day 24-hour mark. So then you have a full another day or 12 hours to follow up with it. How many of you have given 48 hours and they totally forgot and then they can't earn that because it was 48 hours. Or then you're pushing and say, okay, if you give it to me by tomorrow, I'll do it.
Right.
No, keep to your word. Just say, okay, so I need the guest list by this day and time. I'll give you a call. And then worst case scenario, you have another 12 hours or another day or whatever to get that guest list. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then the next thing is what's in it for her? What does that mean?
What is she wanting to get out of the party?
Yes. So if you've already facialed her and you know what she fell in love with, you want to make sure that you say, and you know how you, I know how much you loved the charcoal mask, the multi-masking set. You totally can earn that when you have at least 4 people there that are over 18 that don't already have a Mary Kay consultant. Or I know how much you wanted to earn that biocellulose mask. That's $70, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to need to bump. You don't want to give the same hostess for that, right? You're going to tweak that a little bit to make sure that you're getting, you know, what you need. Yeah.
If you're doing the 80-40, how do you, because she's already gotten her stuff.
You would give in addition. You know how you can get that microdermabrasion at whatever. So another thing that I was teaching some of my consultants is you can do add on for every person that's over 25 that you bring that doesn't already have a Mary Kay consultant, you can get 1 half-priced item in my catalog. Mm. You can do that all day, every day, because you don't lose any money, right? So that is something that you can say. So if you wanted to say, you can earn the microdermabrasion set at half price if you have at least 5 people there that are over 25 that don't already have a Mary Kay consultant, or 2 people at half price, and if you have 5 people that are over 25, you can get it for free. Okay? You figure out what you're willing to give them. Everyone's going to be different. Okay? I am willing to give more free stuff because I have all my inventory. I have more than full inventory, right? So I'm willing to give more because I know that having quality people there is more likely I'm going to get higher sales. I'm going to be able to find my next team member. I'm going to be able to, you know, all those things. But if you don't have full inventory, you don't want to give as much free stuff, then you need to be aware of that. And just know what you're willing to give and how you're going to figure out how to give it to them. But you figure out what it is, okay? So if it's biocellulose mask, that's $70. So you need to have something fast and easy in your head to figure out how you're going to do that. And the best way is to do $10 for every person that's over 18 or 21, or give the age limit of it, right? So for every person that's over 21 or every person that's over 25, I'll give you the $10 in free product. So you would need to have 7 people there that are over 21 or 25, whatever you wanted the limit to be. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So they already got the 80-40, but to get that in addition product, right, you're going to give this. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So you figure out what's in it for her and you write it there. Make sure that you remember what she's wanting. Because every single time you text or call her, you want to remind her. And I am so excited to give you that microdermabrasion set. You are going to love it. It makes your skin so soft.
I have your microdermabrasion all wrapped up for you.
Yeah, I have a story. Caitlin doesn't always love me telling it, but it really shows
I don't remember which
hostess.
About, so.
It really shows hostess, and if I had done my job right, then anyway. So what happened is we did a booth. I had gotten a friend. They had entered at different points. I had booked this friend, this lady, because she was one of my girls, and I told her I was going to give her $100 in free product for having 5 people that were over 25 and free and clear. Okay, that's what I told her, but I didn't do a very good job coaching, obviously, to explain it over and over again. So she came with one of her friends to a double facial that Kaylin did, and she was like, well, I was already planning on doing a party, but I like your hostess plan better. And do you want to know what her hostess plan was?
Same thing?
No, it was less!
It's like 75 for 35.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I was like,
Wait a second.
what?
That's so funny.
Anyway,
I didn't know at the time.
Yes,
I did not know
so she had a perfectly handed coached party. There you go. Because she came to a facial with Kaylin. And I was like, how did this happen? And honestly, she didn't understand what I was giving her for free. That's basically how it happened.
Because you didn't coach.
Because I wasn't in her face enough, basically, to remind her what she was getting for free.
Yeah.
That is the problem with feeling like you're bugging them.
Yeah.
Do you want to hand a perfectly well party? That she had like 5 or 6 people there. She got a new team member. She recruited. I don't even remember this set. Yay!
Does she hate this story or do you hate this story?
Right? Good story.
I hate her to tell the story because
Yeah.
it sounds like I stole something from her, but I
It
didn't know.
wasn't.
No.
She didn't know.
She
It
likes
was.
to blame.
And honestly, the girl didn't tell her that anyway. It was like I was thinking about doing the party, and so she was like, oh okay, and so then she booked it. Oh yeah, I can do it that day.
Right.
Like I think my friends could do it this day. We had already chose that day anyway. So it was like she had no idea. It was not her fault. But it is a good teaching moment for all of you who think you're bugging a person by reminding them what they're getting for
She
free.
reminds me of that all the time.
I
Did
know.
she ever cancel with you?
She did. She was like, it's not going to work out.
And then it wasn't until later after the party that we figured out.
I was
that
like, so
it was
what?
the same hostess.
Oh yeah, I was anyway. Yes,
So it was a good
and
day
then
for
she
you?
recruited into my unit. It just was like shocking. I was like, well, what was your hostess program? And she was like, it was like 75 or 35, and I was like, wait a second. Okay, it's all good. All right. Okay. Anyway, so what's in it for them? Make sure they know what they're earning for free, and you get them excited about it. Yay. Okay, what is a commitment statement? I know a lot of people have a hard time saying a commitment statement, and it was not a habit of mine, but when you use it, it really does work. So do you guys know who uses a commitment statement all the time, every time, day in, day out? Okay, who knows a commitment statement?
I know like 10.
Give us an example.
Yes, give us some examples.
What if
Okay,
you
Bob-
know them but you don't use them?
that's what I said. So Bobby, what's one?
So telling them that I take my business seriously and I will be there, rain or shine. Can I count on you to do the same thing?
Yep.
Come death or dilation.
Yes.
I will be there.
Come death or dilation. Well, no.
supposed to be
Will you
here.
promise me that no matter what, barring death or dilation, you will be there?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that's really, really like strong, so they can't feel like they can do it. Do you have one commitment statement?
I mean,
Michelle?
all these that we're saying.
No, mostly what I say when I do it is that I kind of take what Kimberly Copeland said, and you just say, thank you so much for holding this party. You may not know it, but it helps put braces on my child or whatever.
Whatever they're working
Or
towards.
it helps pay for Evan's STEM shop and Stella's dance lessons.
Yes.
I
so
can never
appreciate it.
even be as express how appreciative I am. And then they're more like, oh, okay.
I take my business seriously, and I just want you to know that this puts braces on my kids' teeth, this puts Evan in karate lessons, choose what works for you. And that's what I want to tell
It
you
makes it
is
more real to them,
I
It's
do
not just
like
some other
utilizing something that's personal. It really does help. Yes.
I think one that just feels comfortable for me to say is just to say, I am so excited to have a party with you because you're the kind of person I know I can count on. This is going to be so great.
lady. That's not awesome.
And then you're like, crap.
That's
right. I am someone. Well, and it makes them feel good. That's right. I am somebody who can be counted on.
Right.
You betcha.
Yes.
It's an affirmation statement for them
Yes.
that I just created.
Yes. Good job. So, what basically my point is, every personality in every person is going to feel like one is like way too strong and one is, oh, I totally can do that as like a joking, funny, haha. Use what you feel like will work, but you need to choose one. Because a commitment statement really is basically saying, anyone that's here for unit meeting, for success, you want your business to be a business. And so you need to treat it like a business. So you need to use phrases like that. You just do. And when you say it, once you get in the habit of constantly saying it, that's why sometimes it's just not a habit and so I forget to say it. You can text it. The worst case scenario is you don't say it when you're on the phone and you text it to them. It's easier to do it in a text, but don't pansy out on the phone and text just because it's easier, okay? Yes, it's only if you forgot. But if you need to get in the habit and you, oh crud, I didn't do that, then send a text and say, thank you so much. I so appreciate this. This is a business for me, and you're helping me put my son in karate lessons, my daughter in braces, and I know I can count on you. You totally can count on me. So figure out what works for you, but use a commitment statement, okay? So then you're going to check that off, right? Hostess packet. Obviously, if they were at a party, hopefully you have a hostess packet and you gave it to them there. But if not, you can mail it to them. You can drop it off at their house. There was a director that she would drop off the hostess packet and stay with them and work on their guest list on who they were inviting at that moment.
Yeah.
And she had really great results with that. Because guess what? Another thing is you're building more rapport with that person. The more time that you spend with them in person, you're going to get to know that person better. And you're going to get better, like recruiting. You know, she's more likely to recruit come, you know, the class time. But also you're going to be able to sell more because they trust you more. You know, like there's so many things like that, okay?
Can I ask a question about what do you usually put in your hostess packet?
Hostess packet, I usually do 2 recruiting papers. $29,250 profit. That's like one I always do. And then one other. So you can do a couple other, if you're using your hostess packet as a recruiting packet as well, and you can use it like vice versa, then I would do more than just 2. But you can do the 7 qualities that we look for, the Diamond Dozen from Gloria Mayfield Banks. I do that one a lot. I made one that's called Dream Job that I saw from an Avon lady, and I made it for Mary Kay because it was even better. Anyway, I have that one. Yeah, it just says, wouldn't you love to have a dream job? And then it goes over all the benefits that we have. You know, that would be a dream job. And then you're like, hey, guess what? It's Mary Kay. Theirs was Avon, and it was like, wouldn't you love to have a job that paid you 6%? I don't even remember what it was.
Way less.
Yeah, it was way less, and I was like, oh, if I did one, that would look so much better.
So, Angela,
yes.
just to let you know, in my packet years ago,
Yeah.
I actually had one that was a thank you for supporting my business.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
So in that letter, it would state, it was so long ago, my hard drive is like crashed, so I can't pull it. But it had something on there, but like, thank you for supporting small businesses, my business, this is why I do it, and just almost kind of like a commitment thing.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's a great idea. And some people do like their MK bucks, you know, by holding this party, you're going to earn this many, you know, sort of things. You can do that. If you have a hostess flyer of how they earn their free stuff, I always put like a how you're going to earn free product, obviously. If you're going to do postcard invites, then I would put those in there. I do a couple of sales receipts, and I do a lookbook.
Okay.
So 2 recruiting to 3-ish, hostess information, lookbook, sales receipts, and if you're going to do postcards, put that in there. I think that's everything that I put in my hostess. Okay. Do you do anything else? So, okay.
Did you say you put receipts in there?
Yeah, sales receipts. A couple of sales receipts. You can do outside order. There's outside order forms you can do, or you can do sales receipts, either way. Okay, guest list by Saturday prior to class. You can either do the Saturday prior to class or get me 24 to 48 hours, the guest list. Honestly, I feel like the more I do it, 24 to 48 hours is actually better, just because that's when they're thinking about it. But worst case scenario, get it the Saturday before. Like if you're booking a little bit farther in advance, then you can do the Saturday before. Pre-profiled each guest by Saturday prior to class. Confirmed the day of the class. So you're going to text them and say, hey, I'm so excited for today. Just wanted to make sure that I had the address correct, or just wanted to make sure you had the address correct if they're coming here. So what are some of, okay, I'll go through the rest of it. Send reminder note to hostess, sending the invitations, thank you notes. That also could be a pick invite. Another thing that I used to do, and I'm going to try to start doing it, is Facebook parties, Facebook group. And I stopped doing it because people weren't getting the notifications. So people were like, I don't know if it's as useful. But I actually booked a party, and she was going to cancel saying that no one was coming. And I messaged every single person that she invited. And I was like, oh, actually, you have 4 people coming. Oh, really? Who? It just goes to show you, sometimes they don't invite people, okay? So I liked the Facebook thing because then I could personally message them. Now, sometimes they don't receive the messages, but you still can use that, and it still works really well for certain people. And then you're taking them kind of out of the equation, and you are working hand in hand with that, invitation to that person, and you're explaining them why they're going to be excited and what they're trying. And because you know your business better, you're more likely to get that person to say yes than they are any day of the week. So bypass it.
Yeah.
Okay? Give me a list and I'll text out, like if you don't want to mail out invitations, say I'll text out the pick invite to all of your friends. And then I can ask them a couple quick questions about their skin. And so make it like a nonchalant, it's not that big of a deal. You still will have people that will fight you on it and will not want to do the guest list, but that's the way that I found the easiest. You can say, well, send this invite and then tell them to text me with the answers of these questions or whatever. Or if the hostess is going to if they really don't want to give you any information, then sometimes you can get them to ask them the questions. And if they get you the answers, recruit them. This is where you do the guest list, and you would write their phone numbers if you have any other information that you want to do here. But then the last thing, oh wow, didn't realize how late we were going, sorry. I wanted to tell you a couple of things that if you haven't heard from them, or to like remind you of things to text or call them, to remind them to stay in contact with them. Because some people are like, I already gave them all the information. I don't know, what would I call them besides telling them the exact same stuff, okay? So I purposely won't give them information. Like if they're coming to the hotel, then I will wait to tell them, a couple days before and say, oh, and I just wanted you to tell your guests, make sure that they go to the back of the hotel. We're going to be in the middle conference room. Like you give them the address, but you're not going to give them the room information until a couple days before. Does that make sense? So whether it's here or whether it's their information, say, hey, I just wanted to check in to see if there's any information about parking that I should know about. Like where's best to park, because they might be an apartment building. If they have a apartment number, anything, then ask that. Where do I park? Okay. What's the best way to find your apartment building? Okay. Any location information, that should be one thing that you follow up with. What's another? I can tell you what I usually do, but why would you call to follow up besides guest list, that sort of thing?
Well, you can do pre-recruiting things like, hey, will you watch this video and let me know about it? And then you have the surveys ready. So and send it to all the guests. Yes. I think one of the things that's good too, saying things like, tell your guests if they bring a friend that they will get a $10 off. If you do all that right at the beginning, for one thing, that's way overwhelming for a hostess. So it's not just a blessing to you because it gives you reasons to follow up, but it's also that's too much. I can't do all that.
It will feel overwhelming and they'll say, peace out.
I'm not doing it.
I don't want to do it, right?
Yeah.
So you give them the base information they need to know, and then a couple days later you say, hey, or a day later or whatever, you get the guest list, right? Hey, I just wanted to double check. How's that guest list coming? Just wanted to make sure if you had all the people, or if you have the guest list because they gave you a referral list, that is their guest list.
Right.
So why don't you star the people that you're going to invite to your party, and then this is your guest list.
Right.
Okay, great. Circle, star, whatever you're going to do. And then they have the guest list, right? And then one of the follow-ups can be like, hey, did you send out that pick invite? Picture invite to your friends or family? Or do you want me to send that picture invite to your friends and family? Okay. Another one is, hey, I I need to ask you a few questions about your skin. So you're pre-profiling the hostess, okay? I usually don't do that the day that I'm booking, okay? It's a second follow-up, okay? So picture invite, directions or parking instructions is one to follow up with. Making sure to ask them about pre-profiling about their skin. Making sure like the 2 days before, hey, I just wanted to double check to see if you didn't have, if you had any last minute confirmations of people that are coming. They might, most of the time will say no, but it's another reason to like be talking to them and you can bring up another dialogue. Asking them to watch the video for marketing. Hey, if you'll watch this video, I am in a huge goal. I say I'm in a huge goal to finish my first pink Cadillac and finish a cruise to the Bahamas. And so if you'll watch this video, this helps me with my training, and I'll give you a free eyeshadow, free lip gloss, free hand cream, like one of the mini hand creams if you don't want to give too much away, okay? Figure out what those things are. Or I'll give you a lip gloss mascara at half price when you come. You don't have to give it for free if you don't want. And then the day of, I am super excited for you to come. I just want you to know that you are so helping with my business. You can do the commitment statement all over again, whether you're calling or texting, to give them the good feelings, okay? The other thing that I do, that if you haven't heard from them for a little while, like in a day or two they didn't respond to your calls or texts or whatever, then I'll say, I'm super excited, I'm packing up my bags, and I've got my babysitter all lined up. If you have kids, obviously if you don't have kids you can't do that. But guess what? When you say I've got a babysitter,
Oh crap.
A mama ain't gonna postpone on a mama that got a babysitter.
or they're going to respond to you. If they were going to plan on not doing anything that night, they will let you know. I have gotten so many, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, but yeah, I have to reschedule, cancel, blah, 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 blah. But it's because once I started doing that, they were like, oh, she's got a babysitter, you know. So have a reason to message them, and do it a couple days a day, you know. If you booked it close and you want to still book, like have them watch a video, but you don't want to give them all the information all at once, you can like call or text them in the morning and then say, oh my goodness, I totally forgot. Would you by chance watch this video for me? You know, whatever. And so I do the double different times of the day if it's shorter in it, you know, succession. So do you guys have any questions on that? Did that help you? Did it remind you that yes, we should be coaching?
Immensely.
I just like that I coached, but I just kind of keep track of it through my text. So this is cool. I'll put it in my binder. I like that.
Sometimes I love electronics, and for the longest time, and this was one of the things that I had stopped doing when I tried to go all electronic, because I love technology. I'm a technology person. I love it. But there are just some things that you need to be able to see in big writing all at once. Like you just do. You need to be able to write stuff. You need to circle stuff. You need to, and even like people have digital planners nowadays that I was like, maybe I could use that. But there's something about it written down where I can see and flip, and
It's out of sight, out of mind.
yeah. And so if you need to, one of the things you can do is as you fill this out, take a picture of it, put it in an album of future bookings or future parties, so that you have some of that information while you're on the go if you're not going to be bringing your focus folder all the time. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So as you're going, you can update it when you go back home, but you have, like, if you have the guest list of the names and numbers, you could have that, and you don't have to bring your folder. Does that make sense?
If you're doing the 21-day like tickler system, then you can just go with your stuff. You know what I mean? It can just be filed with your little card.
Which is why I love using a accordion file that's bigger, because you can use it for interview follow-up sheets, you can use it for receipts, you can use it for recipe cards, you can use it for profiles when I'm using it for referrals. You can do the whole sheet in there until you're ready to call all of them, and then you can put them on a recipe card. You could use that for customer service. You can, like, all of that. You can use it if you're using that tickler system. So I highly recommend doing it that way. But some people just, it works better for other ways, you know, whether it's technology or whether it's, you know, whatever. So anyway, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.